Hey, can we talk about something that's been bothering me for like a hot minute? Picture it. Shout out to Golden Girls. You're at work. You're minding your business. You're doing your job, being a productive little corporate citizen. And then you get pulled into a meeting just out of the blue from HR. Now that alone is enough to put shit in your pants. It wasn't about performance. It wasn't about some project I maybe overlooked. It was because I like to post on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, a professional networking site where you're supposed to network professionally, turns out is just an extension of the employee handbook. It's on the page in the paragraph that says, "We're always watching you." So let me tell you what happened to me. And then we're going to unpack exactly why this is absolutely unhinged behavior that we have somehow normalized. So I like a post, a completely benign post about the Black experience in corporate America. I'm like, hey, I can relate to that. I'm in corporate America. I'm also Black. It wasn't inflammatory. It was not controversial. Just someone sharing a perspective on navigating professional spaces. Cool. Click like. Somehow, this ended up on my employer's radar. I get a call, I get summons to a meeting, and they want to talk about my social media activity. Now, first of all, the audacity to monitor what your employees were liking on a platform that's not company owned. I didn't write the post. I didn't create a manifesto. I clicked a little thumbs up on somebody else's professional observation. And here's where it really gets good. The reason they had a problem with it, because it wasn't their experience. Let me say that again for the people. They called me on the carpet because I engaged with content about an experience they couldn't relate to. The implication being what exactly? That I'm only allowed to acknowledge perspectives that make the predominant demographic on the leadership team comfortable? Got it. But here's the thing. This isn't just about me. This is a pattern. And that's why I want to talk about it. Because when did we collectively agree that having a job means surrendering your entire digital footprint to our employee scrutiny? Because I must have missed that memo. To be fair, I was probably scrolling on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn has become this bizarre panopticon where companies are monitoring what you post, what you like, what you comment on, who you follow. They're building entire profiles of your beliefs and your interests and your perspectives. And they're telling themselves the story of the collected data about what, though? To ensure what? That you're thinking correctly? Ensure you're being a good brand ambassador 24/7? And the jacked up part is they're doing this under the guise of protecting the company brand. Protecting the company brand from what exactly? From the fact that their employees are human beings with thoughts and experiences beyond the four walls of your office? From the revolutionary concept that someone might engage in ideas that don't directly relate to your maximizing your shareholder value? Listen, let's be clear. This is surveillance. And this surveillance is about control. This is employers trying to colonize every single aspect of their employees' lives, including their thoughts and their right to engage in ideas that may differ from theirs, or experiences that may differ from theirs. And before anyone comes to me with that, well, it is a professional platform, so stop. Yes, it's professional, but that doesn't mean you're under corporate surveillance. There's a difference between being professional and being a corporate automaton who's been lobotomized of any perspective that might make their leadership uncomfortable. Is that too harsh? You know what's actually unprofessional? Calling employees into meetings to interrogate them about clicking a like button. That's unprofessional. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I don't usually stray away from these things because we're not going to dance around this. The fact that I was questioned specifically about engaging with content about the lived experience of people who look like me is not a coincidence. This is a pattern that plays out over and over again in corporate America. Black employees, other employees of color, employees of the LGBTQ plus community are often being tone police, perspective police, and told that engaging with content about their own lived experience is somehow divisive or not aligned with the company values that usually include diversity and inclusion. These are things that companies claim to care about, but now somehow it's a problem. I've never understood personally how acknowledging that people have different experiences in professional spaces is controversial. Is it though? The answer is no. No, unless your company values are just don't make certain demographic of people uncomfortable, then no, it's not. Because that's what this is really about. It's not about professionalism. It's not about brand protection. It's about control and comfort. Whose comfort? Not mine. Listen, when a Black employee engages with content about race in the workplace and that gets flagged as problematic, what you're really saying is, we want you here, but only if you don't bring all that you are or anything that you stand for. We want you here, but only if you never acknowledge your own experience. We want diversity, as long as it's not diverse. But that's not diversity. That is tokenism. This kind of surveillance disproportionately impacts employees from marginalized communities because we're the ones whose existence is somehow considered political. My lot's political. The fact that I'm queer, political. Who the is who I marry? It's all political. We're the ones whose perspectives are labeled controversial just for existing and possibly for being acknowledged. Think about it. Nobody's getting called into HR for liking a post about golf, but like something about navigating bias in the workplace. Now it's a meeting. So let's talk about boundaries, because apparently we need to. Your employer is not entitled to do these things. Monitor your personal social media activity on platforms that they don't own, that they don't control, and that you haven't signed a contract for. They're not entitled to police what you like, share, or engage with. Interrogate you about your perspective and beliefs. No. They're not entitled to demand that you only engage with content that they approve of. What your employer is entitled to is to shut the I'm just kidding. Your employer is entitled to set expectations for how you represent the company on social media. Address actual problematic behavior that violates harassment policies or professional ethics. Do you see the difference? One is about actual professional conduct, while the other is about thought control. And here's what really gets me. These same companies will post about being authentic and bringing your whole self to work, and then turn around and monitor every single thing that you do online to make sure that you're not too authentic. You're not bringing too much of your whole self to work. They want the appearance of diversity and open dialogue without any of the actual diversity of thought or experience that comes with it. It's performative. It's hollow. It's insulting. Remember that you are a whole human being, not just a worker. You have the right to thoughts, perspectives, interests beyond your job description, and you have the right to engage with ideas. Post your thoughts. I have a podcast that I talk about on LinkedIn. Come at me, bro. Look, I get it. We all need jobs. I like nice cars. We have bills to pay. The power dynamic between employer and employee is real, and often it skews heavily in one direction. But we can't keep normalizing surveillance culture. We can't keep acting like it's reasonable for companies to monitor everything that you do. We can't pretend that this isn't about this unsettling matter of control. And we especially can't keep allowing employees from marginalized communities to be disproportionately targeted for engaging with content about their own experiences. First of all, it's creepy. Second of all, it's invasive. And lastly, it's often discriminatory, and it just needs to stop. So to every employer out there who's listening, who's monitoring their employees' LinkedIn likes, you're weird. You're giving panopticon. You're giving 1984. You're giving I peaked in high school as a hall monitor. Stop it. Maybe focus on actual workplace issues instead of playing Will Trent in the comments. And to everyone who's been called out for the crime of clicking a thumbs up button on the internet, let me validate you. That weird, and you deserve better. All right, that's my rant for the day. It made me hungry. Let me know in the comments if you've dealt with comment creepers or like lieutenants. And subscribe if you want to hang out with me for more nonsense. Until next time, peace out, y'all.